biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after. An in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 provides game recaps for every game. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis.
Puts it on the floor, spins down the lane, and plunges it through.
Or the deep threes from Dame.
Dame time has arrived with 107.
Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Skilled trade workers are the backbone of every community and also the Army National Guard. Soldiers trained to keep the power flowing, engines running, and in every other trade needed to accomplish the mission. These soldiers are on the fast track to learning skills that can set them up for success at home with companies looking to hire the best. Their resumes are being built through their paid training and part-time service. Find out how you too can learn a trade profession by visiting NationalGuard.com. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Off day for the Crew today. The Brewers have a road trip up next to St. Louis, 3 games against the Cardinals. Bucks' first playoff series starts on Sunday, Game 1 against the Pacers, 6 p.m. tip-off Sunday evening right here on WTMJ. Checking the roads now, WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving. Time saver traffic. Still seeing some slowdowns, some brake lights through the road work there on 894 westbound, as is per normal, it seems. From the Mitchell to the Hill, you'll see some slowdowns in that stretch. Getting through it just fine, but it will be a bit tighter than normal.
Traffic is sponsored by Richlands Tire and Service Center.
Richlands Tire and Service Centers. 5 locations and all easy to find. Visit richlands.com when you're due for service.
WTMJ 5-day forecast. Rainy today, a high of 53. Tonight, less clouds, a low of 39. For your Friday, sunny and breezy, a high of 56. Saturday, 51. Sunday, sunny, a high of 57. Monday, a high of 62. Right now in Milwaukee, 50 degrees. I'm Eric Bilstead, Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:08.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, it's time to fast forward. Welcome to the future of almost everything in Wisconsin on the Upswing. Now in for Jeff Sherman, here's Steve Glenn and Martin Moore.
Welcome to the Upswing. I am Martin Moore. My co-host, Steve Glenn. We're in for Jeff Sherman. He's off today. Boy, I haven't hosted 620 since before COVID.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, back at old Radio City. I got to say, they definitely leveled up the distractions with like the massive TV and the screens everywhere. Like I feel like I'm in the space shuttle.
A podcaster
Yes,
bothering you over here.
It's huge. Yeah. I just want to get right into it. This show is about the future of everything. A lot of times we talk about Milwaukee, but specifically I want to talk about Visit Milwaukee's new logo and new branding, and just spend some time on the future of Milwaukee, because there's a lot of stuff happening with the RNC coming here, with the Bucks in the playoffs. We're getting a new pro soccer team, just all the development and businesses. Steve, you know a little bit about the new Visit Milwaukee logo and branding. Why don't you run us through
I do.
all that?
Yeah, and I'm gonna. So this is really, Jeff. We miss you, buddy.
Yes, we miss you.
We miss you.
You're here in spirit.
And so this is kind of like for me a little bit of teachers out, and I got a sub, and I can do
we're the
whatever
substitute
I want.
teachers.
Yeah. But yeah, so let's back up a second. Like from a brand vision identity perspective, this city, our city, is in a huge transition right now. Huge. And so you touched on a couple of things. I've got, future of topics, ideas now that I can take over a little bit here. But the mayor's big, bold vision for what Milwaukee can be, what the city can do, what we can achieve, and what we can build. You mentioned Visit Milwaukee's brand. Our largest force for promoting the city just unveiled a new identity, and how they're going to pitch Milwaukee to businesses, conferences, tourists, you name it. Milwaukee Day just happened. The biggest, most successful Milwaukee Day in history.
Was it? Where do you find metrics for that?
I put them all together myself.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Do you have anything specific that?
I've just saw literally thousands of people out around the city.
Did you do anything?
Yes, we had a huge a huge party at New Barons and Twisted Path.
Nice.
It spilled into the streets. It was as close to a block party as you could get without having an official block party. It was amazing.
It's so cool that the city celebrates its identity and just kind of like its history and everything on a day like that. Like, I love it. It's so cool.
And how lucky were we that we got a 75-degree sunny day?
You know how I celebrated 414 Day? I went on a really long bike ride.
There you go.
Which my butt regretted the following 2-3 days.
You took advantage of what the city has to offer from that perspective, which is awesome.
Totally. So Visit Milwaukee, they released their new logo and their new branding.
Yeah.
What do you think, just to kind of set the listeners up for when we get into this next segment, what do you think, why did we do this? Why did we need to rebrand the city for tourism and business?
Yeah, I think a lot has changed in the 20-ish years that since the last, I think, identity was born.
Mm-hmm.
And it was time to sort of refresh and talk about the things that where this city is going, and what we're doing today is very different. So we need to start talking about that. And I have to say, I'll tease this up for this next segment. I'm neither excited nor disappointed. I'm right in the middle right now.
Right.
Yeah.
When I started vlogging in 2015, the city looked very, very, very different than it does now. And so after this next break, I want to start talking about some of the things that have happened in the last decade and where that's going to sort of take us into the next 10, 20, 30 years. So that's coming up after the break. I'm Martin Moore, Steve Glenn. This is The Upswing. Woo.
WTMJ's John Mercure here. Join me as we count down to the RNC in Milwaukee. We'll talk to the biggest names across the political landscape.
From the Wisconsin Alliance for Civic Trust, David Haynes.
The incidence of actual voter fraud is very, very, very small. I've seen it said before that there's way more credit card fraud than there's voter fraud, and we still use credit cards.
Right, yeah.
Full podcast available on WTMJ.com or text RNC to 855-616-1620 and get a link sent directly to you. It's the countdown to the RNC podcast, only here on WTMJ.
We find the best way to protect and uphold the reputation of our business is to hire good people and then take care of them. We really do love the people that work for us, and we care about what's in their best interest. And what that means to you is this: who do you really want on your job? Someone who's maybe underpaid or doesn't feel appreciated, might not have paid vacations or great work benefits? Our folks have all of these things and more. Vito and I make sure they feel appreciated, because happy people do happy work. There's a culture we're building here at Semper Fi that brings respect back to a very hard job, and that's why we know that our crews are going to do the kind of work that you expect. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi. All Brewers games are on sale now. Coming up, a weekend showdown with the Yankees, Friday, April 26th through Sunday, the 28th. Start the series with Friday's hockey night. Then take home a limited edition Brewers City Connect Tumbler Cup at the game on Saturday, the 27th. Presented by Quick Trip. Don't miss out on a marquee weekend of baseball. Grab your seats at brewers.com/tickets.
Welcome back to The Upswing. Before the break, we were talking about 414 Day and just celebrating Milwaukee, and now I kind of want to get into just the future of Milwaukee. As the listeners know, I've been to all 50 states. Last year, me and my wife, Jen, just finally visited Hawaii for our 50th state. And every time I go to a city, and I've been to basically every major city in the United States, when I leave, I always think about how did that city make me feel?
Yes.
And so I think about that with Milwaukee and, with this new branding and celebrating the city. How do we want visitors and businesses and people who live here to feel in Milwaukee? So I guess my question to you, Steve, is how does Milwaukee make you feel compared to other cities, maybe like Chicago or LA or New York?
So I've got so many answers to that question. I'll try to keep
that's a loaded question.
Yes, yeah. Well, I'm a guy that I came from nothing, and as I grew up and began to experience the city and share ideas, this place has embraced me. It embraces ideas. It embraces those ideas in any direction from anyone.
Sure.
So I have a deep, deep passion. Now, when I think about other people, and I think about, you're talking about visitors coming to the city, my mission...
Because that's where the money is.
Yeah, right. And my mission in my work through Experience Milwaukee podcast is to make visitors feel like locals like regulars, all before they even step into any place or area of the city.
I like that.
And I think, when we talk about the brand and the feel and the experience, Visit is on a path to get, I think, a lot of the city moving in a very positive direction. Who else needs to play a role in the brand of the city, right? Because Visit is just not just, but Visit is an organization within the city. How do we move all of that forward?
I think a lot of it comes down to just ambassadors of the city, cheerleaders of the city, people. I don't want to pat myself on the back, but people like me, people who are making videos, or musicians, and people who are recognizable, that are going to draw people into the city for whether it's music events, or maybe they own a restaurant, or like the Top Chef stuff. And,
right.
So I think to answer that question, the ambassadors of this city really, I think, hold and fly the flag for this city, and kind of make it what it is, and get people interested and eyes on the city.
Right.
People like Giannis, for the Bucks, and I don't know. That's how I've always felt about it.
I don't disagree. I'm with you on that 1,000%. And I see the business improvement districts as sort of where the rubber hits the road, and how you experience everything around these neighborhoods that we love so much.
And I mean, experience is really what it comes down to. Like when you visit a place or you work in a place, it's that experience. How do the people make you feel? Sure, like you could have a good meal or a good mixed drink or something like that, but it really comes down to, in my opinion, the people. How do the people make you feel? And Milwaukee is just one of the most welcoming, hospitable cities I think I've ever been to. Not just because I live here.
And think about how much happens in the Baird Center, right?
For sure.
How many visitors come to the Baird Center, whether they're from the state or out of the state. And Marty Brooks put it really well when I talked with him about this, interviewed with him on this topic. He made sure the experience for his employees was amazing, so that it translated into an amazing experience for those who come to our city or come to events and go to the Baird Center.
I love that.
And they take that energy out into our community. And so when you talk about the people, this city is full of people that make sure every day, every meal is fun.
Yes. How do you brand that? How do you market that? How do you teach that?
That's a great question. Yeah, and I think, like I said,
that's a TED Talks is what that is.
Yeah. I think it will have to be broader than where we are with Visit.
Sure, it's more than a slogan.
Right.
It's more than a logo.
Yes, and it has to include, Visit did a great job of including a number of stakeholders in how they approach this project, and voices of Milwaukee. Our city, I think, is broader than visitors. And so how do we go down that path?
There's education,
right?
There's innovation,
there's the business, as you mentioned.
Absolutely.
What I love about it as an entrepreneur, we're building this plane as we're flying it.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is super fun.
Absolutely. I've always so thankful. I've said this to people before. I'm thankful that we live in a city that isn't dying per se. Detroit is a city that kind of went through a really, really rough patch, losing a lot of automotive workers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Milwaukee is, I couldn't think of a better city to want to start a new business in, or try something new, because the playground is massive. The stakes are very low, and basically the sky's the limit as far as what you can do in the city, compared to you go to somewhere like LA or Chicago or New York, where everybody is trying to compete for the same sorts of things. There's a lot more competition, where in this city you're kind of just free to create, do whatever you want, experiment.
And you get a lot of support.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so after this next break, I want to talk about the future of Milwaukee. We have, a new pro soccer team coming, RNC coming. What does the future of Milwaukee look like after the break?
When we're out in your town, come say hi to us as we broadcast live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
Anytime you hear us when we're out on the road, you can find us live from our brand new mobile studio.
Whether it be Summerfest, EAA, Opening Day, Air and Water Show, wherever we may be, you can see us on the radio, live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
WTMJ.
Right now, the prices of diamonds are probably the lowest we'll see in our lifetime.
Diamond prices are low, low, low. Here's why.
It was hard to meet new people during COVID.
When a person meets their soulmate, they usually get engaged about 39 months later.
People started dating again only about 36 months ago.
Most of the people who got engaged during COVID
or immediately after COVID
were already in a relationship before the COVID lockdown began.
The Wall Street Journal even published a story about all of this.
Low sales of engagement rings created a worldwide oversupply of diamonds.
But now, engagement ring sales are beginning to pick up again.
By the end of next spring, this temporary oversupply will be gone.
And diamond prices will start climbing like crazy.
If you ever wanted to own a big diamond, this is the year to do it.
Find the Kesslers nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
If you want to own a big diamond, the time is now.
Hey, John Mercure here for my friends at Dave Dregkamp Heating. When you experience temperatures 10 degrees below zero, more than 15 inches of snow, rain showers, and sunny days in the low 40s, all in a 3-week period, it can only mean one thing. You live in Wisconsin, and that prepared you to be ready for anything. Because here in Wisconsin, anything can happen with our weather. But fear not. For over 42 years, Dave Dregkamp Heating has lived here too, right by your side, ready and prepared for when anything happens. Spring, summer, fall, or winter, even when they all seem to happen at once. Whenever you're experiencing a home comfort dilemma, just call the teams I trust at Dave Dregkamp Heating. From free estimates for new equipment, routine maintenance to ensure your system is ready for anything, or because you simply have a question about your home comfort, call 262-367-2820. 262-367-2820. Dave Dregkamp Heating, because your comfort is their family's tradition. DaveDregkamp.com.
Sharks. Most people see them as a threat, but we see a potential cure. At UW Health Carbone Cancer Center, we're the only team in the world researching whether antibodies from sharks can be used to fight cancer. A discovery that would revolutionize the future of cancer care, turning possibilities into remarkable realities. So one day, instead of what if, we can ask, what's next? UW Health Carbone Cancer Center. Remarkable.
Welcome back to the Upswing. I'm Martin Moore, Steve Glenn. We're talking all things the future of Milwaukee. I am so happy for the first 2 segments. If I sounded a little weird or you heard noises, this stupid headphone cord was dangling and tickling my arm. It was driving me absolutely insane. And I came up with a nice little hack to get it out of my way. So we're talking about sort of the past, present, and future of Milwaukee. And now I kind of want to get into the future. Visit Milwaukee's new slogan is fresh, flavor, forward.
Yes.
I don't know what they mean by that or what their intentions are behind that, but I want to break those 3 things down and kind of talk about what that means for the future of Milwaukee. Yeah. So the fresh part.
What does it mean to us, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, fresh. Milwaukee's fresh, you said.
Fresh Prince?
Fresh fish.
Fresh fish?
Fresh fish.
Fresh flowers?
It is in a lot of ways a blank slate.
Mm.
And even though we've got a very rich history and past, you can come here with fresh ideas.
Absolutely.
And you can make them your own. And guess what? The positive, I see this word as a positive for Milwaukee, which is Smallwaukee and how connected the city is. You can get it done.
Absolutely. One of the things that I've always appreciated about Milwaukee versus other cities, I talked about last segment, like LA or New York or Chicago, is I don't feel like there's this rat race here that there is in other cities. And so, when I think about the fresh part of this new slogan, this new branding, I think about that. Like you said, it is sort of a blank slate. And as a business or an entrepreneur or a creator, you can basically do and try whatever you want in this city.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Agreed. And I think even as someone who works, say, for a company, a lot of people are moving back to the city because it is fresh.
Absolutely.
It is very much a city you can have a fresh, new kind of perspective on how great life can be and how livable life can be in a city.
Milwaukee's also a very affordable
Yes.
city. Everyone complains about okay, I don't like paying more taxes, but it's not that bad in the grand scheme of things.
Right. And if you think about how expensive it is in some of the other areas around the country, Milwaukee's really great. In
San Francisco, San Diego.
Chicago.
Okay, so fresh, we tackled that.
Yeah.
Next one, flavor. I'm assuming that has to do with food.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Do you think Milwaukee is a food city?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Why?
Because of the density of restaurants around the city and the variety.
Have you seen a lot of new restaurants popping up because we lost a lot during COVID? It makes me very, very sad. I remember, what was it, Fox Bay and Whitefish Bay, Rumpus Room downtown. Those were some of my favorite places that closed. Have you seen an influx of new restaurants popping up since COVID?
Yeah. The Lazy Susan, which was just an amazing spot over there in Bayview, has a new restaurant in it now. The name escapes me. But there are a number of new concepts that have come about. There are, thankfully, a number that we have loved for a long time that made it through, and a number that are up and coming, growing. Places like the Edison that are new, that are going to make great impact on this city.
Absolutely. One thing that's always bugged me about restaurants in Milwaukee is just the lack of them on the lakefront. We have Harbor House, and there's that little tiki bar on Bradford Beach.
Yeah.
But that is something, and we're going to get into sort of the future of summer in Milwaukee after the news at the half. But one thing that's always bugged me is just the lack of restaurants on the lake. I love going to Harbor House and sitting at the bar and having some mussels and just soaking in the view. And there's just not a lot of places unless you want a hot dog or a corn dog or something like that. There just isn't a ton. And so I kind of want to get into that after the break. Yeah. And then finally, forward. What is the forward thing? What does that mean to you?
Where we go, where we're going, where we're headed. And I hinted
that was an obvious question.
But I hit it, and thanks for setting it up like that. But as we're building this plane while we're flying it, this brand is moving forward, and we've got a lot of great things not only happening today, but on the way.
Absolutely. And one of them is going to be what we can do with the lakefront in future of summer in Milwaukee.
The mayor's vision.
Yes, absolutely. So we'll get into that after the break. This is the Siding Unlimited WTMJ News Time. It's 10:30 from the WTMJ Breaking News Center. Here is Eric Bilstead.
Thank you, sir. A juror in the hush money trial of Donald Trump is back home today, dismissed after expressing doubt about her ability to be fair. The status of a second New Yorker picked for the panel is also in limbo this morning over concerns that some of his answers in court may not have been accurate. Judge is now also barring reporters from identifying the employer of the jurors who are selected. They only have 6 so far. Decision Wisconsin, a former Wisconsin congressman wants back in. Peter Barca, who represented the state in the 90s before becoming a Democratic leader in the state assembly, says he is, and then again now, running for Congress. The current revenue secretary will challenge Congressman Brian Stile. And Wisconsin's governing body for high school sports could approve a plan next week to provide student athletes in the state the chance to earn money for their name, image, and likeness. The NIL deals, just like in college now. Currently, there are 31 state associations across the country that have implemented an NIL plan for high school athletes. Time now for news about your money. The WTMJ NX Wealth Management market update. Stocks looking good at the moment. The Dow is up 275. The NASDAQ is up 74. And the S&P is up 26. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite, financial planning at every level. Details at annexwealth.com. WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving, time saver traffic. So far, so good. Roads are looking good. Delay free at the moment. 894 westbound has been tight at times because of some road work being done there between the Mitchell and the Hale, but so far you're getting through there just fine at the moment. The WTMJ 5-day forecast, cloudy with rain today, a high of 53. Tonight, less clouds and a low of 39. For your Friday, sunny and breezy tomorrow, a high of 56. Saturday, a high of 51. Sunday, sunny again, a high of 57. Monday, 62 degrees. Right now in Milwaukee, 51. I'm Eric Bilstead, Side and Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 1031.
There are approximately 678,000 current or former employees, retirees, and beneficiaries of the Wisconsin retirement system, covering state and local government employees, including local police, firefighters, and publicly employed teachers. Join Annex Wealth Management and WTMJ Steve Scafidi for a special webinar, Understand Your WRS Potential, Tuesday, April 30th, 4 p.m. What does your most recent statement mean? What might you be missing? This free webinar is designed to answer your questions. Register at annexwealth.com/events. From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 provides game recaps for every game. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis.
Puts it on the floor, spins down the lane, and plunges it through.
Or the deep threes from Dame.
Dame time has arrived with 107.
Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
An unsuspecting driver at a gas station in Wisconsin.
Welcome, Pump 15. How you doing?
Great.
Were you wearing your seatbelt today?
I never wear my seatbelt.
We're going to get him. We're going to get him real good.
Oh, my goodness.
Hello, sir. How you doing? Donald Driver. It takes 1 second to strap a seatbelt on. Well, let's do this. Let's do it together. Now, don't that feel better?
Donald Driver can't always be there to remind you.
Click it or ticket.
And let's reduce fatalities on Wisconsin roadways.
And I should have recognized your voice when you're harassing.
I'm watching you.
Sponsored by Wisconsin DOT.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Welcome back to the Upswing. I'm Martin Moore. Steve Glenn sitting across from me. Steve, do you play any instruments?
I play the bass and I hack on the guitar.
Do you really?
Yeah, don't recruit me for your band. I'm retired.
I just started playing my guitar again. I haven't played in like 10 years.
Yeah.
I played piano, guitar, and sang. I just picked it up, and I've been doing these like little Instagram stories where
we should hang out a little bit.
We should try one.
Yeah.
Drink a little bourbon, play a little music,
Well,
dazzle each other with
I've got
some
like
mediocre at best song.
Yeah. I've got as just having recently taken over marketing at the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra, I have this like renewed energy around music and from all genres and talent. So watching these kids play is just incredible.
I finally got to go. Me and Jen at COS, we get like free Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra tickets pretty much every week. We get like a little email. Me and Jen went there a few months ago for the first time to the new venue. My goodness, it is nice. If you've never been there,
I haven't.
You haven't been there?
No.
Oh man, it's great. Get there early, go to the bar, and then pop in. And we saw the best ones are like we went to go see Star Wars, Back to the Future. Oh, it's so dope. And they'll play it. Like you watch the movie and they'll play it.
I saw The Godfather that way.
Really?
It was amazing.
Oh, it's so cool.
And I had never seen that movie before that.
The Godfather? I've never seen The Godfather, period.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure a bunch of people are going to text in and
yell at us.
So before the break, before the news, we were talking about, Visit Milwaukee's new slogan, fresh, what was it? Fresh?
Flavor
forward.
Yeah.
And sort of talking about the future of Milwaukee. And I wanted to get into the future of summer because I hate, if you follow me on Twitter or any social media, pretty much all I do from like November to March is complain about the weather. I hate winter. My favorite part about winter is watching the snow melt. Like I can't stand it. I don't ski. I don't snowboard. I don't do anything. And so for me, I thrive in the summertime.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I love about Milwaukee is there's so much to do with the lakefront. You got baseball games. There's lots of, the Milwaukee night market. There's all kinds of events and stuff. What does the future of summer look like in Milwaukee? And I know we have Summerfest and we have the whole new, by the way, how do you like the new Summerfest format?
I have to say I do like it.
Do you?
I think it works out really well for like weekend fun.
Sure.
And the format when we've been talking about tourism a lot this entire show so far, and I think Visit's work is pushing us right into the best time of the year, and it's a great time to have a new positioning of this brand. But the format of Summerfest, which is 3 weeks, 3 weekends, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, for 3 weeks, it lends itself perfectly for people who want to come and stay the weekend in Milwaukee.
Sure. It makes it much more accessible.
Yes.
Than having it during the week.
I do miss those weekday fun days of, just kind of letting loose and watching live music and having a few drinks on the grounds. But I really like this format. And then you can take Sunday off.
Absolutely.
Recover from Monday work.
Summerfest is obviously a big part of summer, and having it now being 3 weeks sort of extends that experience. What are some of the other things you think this city lacks as far as things to keep you occupied in the summer? Because like some of the things I love doing, one of the first things that I do to kick off summer is when MKE Boatline does their first like little cruise that goes down like the river and then out into the lake. Oh boy, me and Jen are the first ones on that thing. Grab a little cocktail. But is there anything that you really enjoy or you'd like to see expanded on, or something we don't even have that you've done in another city on a trip or just visiting in the summer that you think Milwaukee lacks?
So I think what I love, and when you talk about how you set this up in your disdain for winter and the snow, I actually have this year for the first time come to appreciate winter for the very fact that it keeps me a little more grounded a few months of the year. Otherwise, if every day was summer in Milwaukee, it would be a mess for me.
I'd be in heaven.
Yeah.
I'd play a lot less video games, I can tell you that much.
So one of my favorite things is patio eating and drinking.
Yes.
And I think over the past few years, when we talk about Fresh Flavor Forward, I think over the past few years, right, Milwaukee has upped its patio and rooftop game
big time.
And if I have to be like selfish and not appreciative of it, which I'm not, I would say more music on those patios would be even better.
Nice little jazz band.
Yes.
I love that. One of my favorite places that I go to that I take like all my friends on like little friend dates is Blue at the top of the Pfister Hotel. That nice 360 panoramic view. I think it's on the 26th floor.
It's up there.
And I remember thinking, like, because I remember the restaurant at the Hyatt when that closed, that spinning one.
Yeah.
Blue was like the only place that had a view, and then like the Kimpton Journeyman opened up their thing, and now there's all kinds of like rooftop bars
Central
and restaurants.
Standard has a beautiful
100%.
Yeah.
That is an experience thing that we were kind of talking about before the break. How does Milwaukee make you feel? That's one of those things where you can go up to a restaurant and have a good meal, have a great craft cocktail, and then just kind of soak in the views of the city.
Right.
And that's the sort of experience that you want people to have when not only living here but traveling here. You know, because if you're in just some rando bar in Omaha, Nebraska with no windows, like that doesn't. You don't really get that. You're not experiencing the city. Yeah, exactly. And so, you're totally right. More rooftop and patio restaurants and bars would absolutely be very, very huge.
And you led us into the break on this topic. And what I love about all the rooftop areas is you can see the lake from most of them.
Yes.
And you talked about
if you're facing east.
Right. Got to turn around. But you talk about doing more with the lakefront, right? I think that's a huge opportunity in the future for Milwaukee. What more can we do to leverage that beautiful lakefront we have?
Absolutely. And that's what I want to get to after this break is the lakefront, because I'm on the lakefront pretty much
all the time,
4 or 5 days a week in the summertime. And I have a little bit of a wish list that I kind of want to get into for the future of the lakefront. And I'd be curious what the listeners think too. If they have anything on their list for what they'd like to see for the lakefront, because I feel like it's still just complete untapped potential.
Yeah.
Like I love that there's massive parks and lots of trees and all that, and I don't want to rip any of that down and build a bunch of condos, but I think there's an opportunity that I want to get into for some restaurants and for
entertainment,
events, all kinds of things. I don't want to spoil it, but we're going to get into that after the break.
Cool.
All right. Back.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
Family Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. It's time to get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data, and you get to choose who joins your family plan starting as low as $25 a line.
Does it have to be family?
It can be family or people you like.
Get more lines and more savings. Switch to Straight Talk for family plan starting as low as $25 a line per month for 4 lines. Find us at Walmart and StraightTalk.com. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com. Family plan discount with 4 lines, all on the Silver Unlimited plan. Taxes and fees apply.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
Fleet Farm's got everything you need for everyday life. Brands from Carhartt to Milwaukee to Purina to Goodyear to Rapala to Levi's and a whole lot more. In-store or online, check out all the brands Fleet Farm carries to help make your everyday life better.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here. Do you have achy joints like a bad knee or maybe an elbow that barks at you and you want to get help, but the idea of surgery or steroids makes you cringe? Well, there is another way. QC Kinetics. It's the future of medicine. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. We're talking natural biologics using your body's own power to repair and restore damaged tissue. QC Kinetics is under the leadership of National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkupp. Dr. Scheinkup's a pioneer in this field. 20 years of clinical work, tons of research, and he wants to get you relief with a needle, not a knife. QC Kinetics. They've got 2 locations, one in Greenfield, another in Mequon. Call today to find out how they can help you. QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Get your free consultation from QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474.
As you know, on Thursdays on the Upswing, we like to give away a gift card for the Mineshaft restaurant in Hartford and Oshkosh. It comes complete with great pizza, a place for the parents to relax and hang out while the kids are having fun on their own in a huge game room. Caller number 7 on the WTMJ talk and text line, 855-616-1620 is all it takes to win a gift card to the historic Mineshaft. And a friendly reminder that Thursday is feature buy one, get one free pizza. So, Steve.
Yes.
We were talking about the future of the lakefront. Sorry, I was distracted by the people
We got
out.
people out.
This is, again, for the listeners, if you just tuned in, I haven't hosted a show since before COVID. There are so many distractions with this TV, the window. I feel like I'm in a fish tank, and like people are...
And what did you say? It was like feeling like you just dropped your groceries and.
Well, yeah. So like I have my laptop. I'm writing notes. I have all these screens I've never seen, buttons and stuff. I feel like I was like walking out of Aldi with my groceries and like the bottoms just gave out and I'm trying to pick up everything.
And everyone's just watching you.
Right.
No one's helping.
Exactly. So we were talking about just the future of Milwaukee, the future of the summer, and one of the big things for me is the lakefront. I'm always down on the lakefront in the summertime, and I feel like there's a big opportunity to do something more with the lakefront and celebrate it more, because it is, in my opinion, just a giant park, which is
great.
You don't want to fill it up with skyscrapers and buildings and mess all that up. But I do feel like there's an opportunity to take some of that real estate and do some things with it. I'm not talking about like Navy Pier in Chicago,
right.
but there's definitely a lack of restaurants. And I remember I was invited to. Did you ever hear the Lakefront Gateway Plaza?
I've heard of it.
So that's what was basically proposed, and maybe the listeners know if this is something that's still
text in
the works. It's basically this giant public bridge that's going to go over Lincoln Memorial. That's supposed to connect like the Contour area with Discovery World and the Art Museum, and it was this huge like white bridge that had like trees on it. I think there was like a little water thing. There's ice skating rinks, some cafes, and I remember when I saw just the renders for that, I was like, that's what we need. Because right now the lakefront is just so closed off from the rest of downtown. Like if you're a tourist and you want to try and get to the lakefront, you have to cross Lincoln Memorial. And that's
a game. That's a game of Frogger.
100%. And so I think there's some opportunities to build on the lakefront and get people, make it, one, easier to access, and two, just more things to do other than just grab a beach blanket and eat some chips and drink a beer.
Yeah.
Is there anything on the lakefront you feel like is lacking, just as far as like infrastructure or restaurants or entertainment or anything that you'd really like to see?
So infrastructure for sure, because it unfortunately is a pathway for commuting to and from work instead of a pathway to experience the lakefront.
Absolutely.
And especially during the week, or maybe specifically during the week, to make it more bike and walk friendly.
Yes.
It's got some great aspects today, but to make it more friendly for bikes and walkers, so we can slow it down.
Absolutely.
And just enjoy it. The other thing I think about to what you're saying is, it seems like people go to the lake for an event.
Yes. That's it.
And leave. They go there, they watch the air show, they leave. And so how do we get them to come and just hang out and mingle, or see it as a way they can spend their day and have enough to do?
Absolutely. And it's like, if you're not going to the Art Museum or Discovery World, which I get those are on the lakefront, but that's not really
It's not a lakefront experience.
Exactly.
Per se.
Bradford Beach can be, I'm 43 years old. Not that I don't like being around college kids, but like that can be intimidating if you're a tourist, or even if you just live here and you want to go and like have a nice family day down by the lakefront by the beach, and it's just jam packed with like bros throwing footballs,
and volleyball,
and girls twerking, like it can be intimidating, and so
you feel like you don't necessarily fit.
Exactly. And so how can we sort of break that up and create more little pockets for people where they feel like they have a place, whether that's just a little area to have a coffee,
a date,
have a date, watch a little band, watch a magician or a puppeteer or something like that. So I want to get into that after this next break, about what can we do with the future of the lakefront to get people to come down there more than just to hop in Discovery World or the Art Museum, or go drink on the beach, because I think there's some big opportunities to do a couple things,
for sure.
And just to get down there, the future of public transportation and getting around Milwaukee in the summertime and getting to the lakefront. We're going to get into that after this final break.
While you rest on the weekends, we work for you. Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News with Libby Collins. The latest in news.
TMJ4 meteorologist Brendan Johnson.
We're getting all 4 seasons, it looks like, in the span of just about 72 hours.
Entertainment.
His name's John Crimper.
I rode sheep when I was 3, and that's when it all started.
And more. Every Sunday morning starting at 8 on WTMJ.
I'll say it again. Our mission is to protect and uphold our reputation. And what that means is wherever we go, we make it better for those in need of our services and the great people we have working with us. Our reputation matters. It matters to us, and it should matter to you. We believe that operating with integrity will set us apart from our competitors, and that this attracts people to us that share these same values. I say this because I want you to know when you work with Semper Fi, character counts. It's why you can count on the industry's hands-down best lifetime workmanship warranty that now includes free annual inspections. And it's why we always have one project manager per job, which is absolutely not the industry standard. When you're paying for a brand new roof to go on what's likely the biggest investment you have, you want it done right, and you want to be able to count on the people doing it. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company.
Keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Is your IRS tax debt making you feel anxious? The professionals at Allies Tax Relief are ready to negotiate your fresh start. Call them now at 800-230-5174.
Get your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval to buy at accunet.com.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
Why is abbreviation such a long word?
That, my friend, is one of life's unanswerable questions.
I mean, you'd think someone could make it shorter.
Oh, you mean like instead of saying buy one, get one, you can just say BOGO.
Yeah, kinda.
Through Monday at Hasselus Mattress, buy a new Sealy Posturepedic, Serta Perfect Sleeper, or Beauty Rest mattress, and we'll give you a free box spring or an equal amount off an adjustable base.
Or, in other words,
BOGO.
Right.
Plus, free next day delivery and employee-free showrooms.
You mean I don't have to deal with pushy salespeople?
No.
So I can try out all the mattresses
solo.
And through Monday, I can
BOGO.
You're a man of few words. I like that.
Buy a new Beauty Rest, Sealy Posturepedic, or Serta Perfect Sleeper and get a free box spring or an equal amount off an adjustable base. Now through Monday at Hasselus Mattress. Find a self-service showroom near you or shop online at hasselus.com.
Gene Miller here. Springtime. Better start thinking about those home improvement projects. Now's the time to call my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. Update your home's curb appeal and build equity with energy-efficient replacement windows and doors from brands like Pella, Anderson, Marvin, and more. Hometown can also customize your project. They're your local source for wood, vinyl, or fiberglass windows and doors. Stop into their newly remodeled showroom in New Berlin to see the Hometown difference. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. HometownWindows.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
I'm a huge Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros fan. I love every time that song gets played. I love it.
I'm a huge fan of our producer of this show.
Yes, big time.
I'm just could not be a bigger fan.
We got a couple great texts here that I want to read from the 262. My observation over my 60-plus years as a Milwaukee area resident is that we are not fresh nor innovative, and that we often greatly lag adopting new trends that emerge in other cities. But that when we finally eventually catch up or catch on, we do it better, and the benefits persist much longer than elsewhere. So I don't see us as creative innovators as much as experienced implementers and enhancers.
Wow.
I like that. That was a mouthful. I'm surprised I didn't mess that up.
You didn't. You did it perfectly.
That was they're totally right, though. We aren't the first to do something, but when we do it, it's kind of like we're like the Apple of
right. Yeah.
of cities.
The same thing. I do have a take on that, and it's this. I think that's what Visit Milwaukee is working to help us with,
yes.
Which is we don't want to be that anymore.
Yeah.
And how do we move forward in some of this messaging and feel and emotion is what Visit is helping us get to.
And start some trends.
Yes.
Be the innovators of the big cities.
And if you were something, why can't you reinvent? Why can't you rethink?
Right.
Why can't you take a fresh perspective forward?
Look at you.
With some flavor.
Are you in marketing by any chance?
I've heard of it.
Another one from the 262. Lakeshore Park needs a permanent food, drink, restroom structure.
Yeah.
Plus better access.
Yes.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with that more.
Right.
We were talking about before the break the future of the lakefront. And getting to the lakefront is something that is a giant pain, and getting around a city in general is a pain, and that's something that Milwaukee has really...
Any city, right?
Any city. Something Milwaukee has only recently started embracing with the hop, and now with the contour. The hop is the new lines going down to the lakefront. Yep. They're expanding bike lanes. I mean, we have the Oak Leaf Trail, but that doesn't really get you around the city. But I've seen some like dedicated bike lane lanes.
Yes.
Only emerging downtown. For you, the mayor has a goal of getting 1 million people in Milwaukee.
It's going to take some infrastructure changes.
It's going to take a lot of infrastructure changes. You always hear about people saying tear down 794. What do you see the future of just transportation in Milwaukee and accommodating all those new people, whether it's foot traffic, whether it's bike traffic, whether it's vehicular traffic? Is that how you say it? Vehicular?
That sounds right. I don't fact check on the radio here.
Right.
Yeah. That's a good question. I think
because that's a lot of people. That's like almost double the population.
I think we'll definitely need more of sort of the micro transportation methods.
Some more bird scooters.
More scooters, yeah. But I think about parking downtown in this way. Where can you park that then you can leave your car there and get around the whole city
for more than 2 hours?
For more than 2 hours.
Because if you're visiting a city, one thing I can't stand when I go to like Chicago is having to pay like $75 for a parking structure for the whole day.
Yes. There are neighborhoods you can park and then lift or whatever. Pop your bike out of the back of your car and get going.
Sure.
And you can enjoy the city for the whole day.
Sure. One thing that me and Jen always do, especially if like we want to go out to dinner downtown, there's a lot of places we like to go to by Cathedral Square, is we'll go park by Intermodal.
Yes.
Because there's plenty of parking over there, and then we'll just, in air quotes, hop on the hop.
Hop on the hop.
And then that can basically start to take you all around the city. And it's one of those things that I gave the hop a lot of flack when it came out because I was like, it doesn't go anywhere. But then once I finally started using it, to its strengths and advantages, I was like, okay, this kind of works. Like now I don't have to drive around for 25 minutes looking for a parking spot. And so I think that's going to be a vital part of the future of Milwaukee and just getting around because Milwaukee's growing.
Yes.
And so like the hop may not have made sense when it first came out, but I think in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, it's really going to start to make sense as it expands and as the city expands.
One of the biggest hacks, one of the most important pieces to our transportation infrastructure in this city, not just the Steny shuttle, all bar shuttles.
Sure.
They're amazing.
They're absolutely.
Yeah.
I've used them before.
They get you everywhere. And they are like literally from any neighborhood, you can find a shuttle and get around the whole city. That's where you go and park.
Right.
Get in this, just find a way into the city.
Right.
Whether you're going to the sporting event or not.
All right. Final question, and this is going to get the listeners riled up because this is a great question for Twitter.
Boy.
Future of Milwaukee transportation, 794. Tear it down, yay or nay? Where are you?
No comment.
No comment?
I like it.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? You like driving on it or you like the way it looks?
I like all of it. It helps me get into the different neighborhoods. I know the debate. It actually helps me get into the different neighborhoods a lot faster and easier.
Sure.
Yeah.
I could care less. Yeah. I mean, I'm on 794 every single day during the week, and if I see 10 cars on it, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So I could care less, but I do get the argument for it, like because I've always felt like the Third Ward in downtown, sort of like there's like this line which is the freeway, and if you're a tourist, I don't know, it's kind of off-putting. Anyways, thank you for listening. Thanks for putting up with me and Steve. Jeff will be back.
We miss you, Jeff.
When is Jeff? Is Jeff on tomorrow?
I hope so.
Yeah, well. Anyways, we have Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty coming up next.
Make this summer the best one yet. Let Fox World Travel plan your next family